All right, guys. So this is the Luck of the Draw podcast. It's me and Colby and our guest Ron. So Ron is with us today. He won Angler of the Year last year. Him and his dad, Ron and Ron. So
everybody's favorite Rons, man.
Yeah, the Rons. So we just drew for the October Lake. We're starting up our season. Our first tournament's October 14th, and we just went Facebook Live. We'll post that here in the beginning, so you can see that. And we drew Cedar Creek. And so the crazy thing is, we were at Cedar Creek last year in October, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Same month.
And man, it was cool. It was a good lake.
Same weekend.
I caught like 17 pounds, so I was.
Yep.
Hey, that's a big bag for me. So
23 won it. You had 16. You and your dad at 14.4. So first, second, and third right there.
Yep.
Yeah. So the lake was a lot lower last year.
Yeah.
And I don't know the lake level now. I just know it's not as low as it was last year.
Mm-hmm.
I can look that up, but
with the drought that we're having, hopefully we get some rain between now and the next month. But
hopefully.
I mean, that's no promises.
Hopefully.
yeah, no doubt, dude.
Yeah. But I mean, other than that, this is kind of something that Jared and I have been tossing around the idea of doing for a while, and it's mainly what we're going to do is almost like a post-tournament recap of what's going on. It kind of gives some spotlights to the locals that show up, just kind of getting their name out there. You know, just like looking at the Cedar Creek last year, 2 locals showed up and caught 23 pounds, almost 24. So giving them some spotlight, kind of going over what we saw, what the lake was like, really just the stuff that we normally talk about after a tournament that now we're just going to video.
We want you guys in on these conversations.
Yeah.
I've been wanting to start something like this, a podcast, since Choke Canyon, our championship of the first season.
Yeah.
And we didn't do it. I actually brought I didn't have all this stuff, but I brought a few things to do that. And that at Choke Canyon, the place we stayed at had this really nice outdoor patio.
It was awesome.
The winds that weekend were 30 miles an hour, so there was absolutely no way we were going to get any kind of mics out there. So we didn't do it. Then throughout the season, there never was great opportunity, or maybe I was just a little scared to do it right. And then hey, look, we decided to do it, and it took some coordination to get everybody here at the same time. But
Hey, Ron, I've been talking him out of it for the past year, man. So
Colby keeps talking me out of it.
I'm trying. I'm like, let's just wait.
And then I just keep pushing through. So we're here now.
Yeah.
And we're going to keep bringing these podcasts at least every month.
Yeah. Hopefully, just like a little tournament recap. Yeah. I think that'll be good.
Yeah,
Hopefully
no doubt.
Some insights.
We have guests like Ron tell us about how they did.
Next one's your dad. Next one's your dad.
Hey, he would have fun with this.
He's front and center.
He would.
Yeah.
Oh well, let me pull up we have a list of things we wanted to talk about, man. And
yeah. I mean, essentially, we already went over the lake list on the Facebook Live. The dates are on the Facebook group as well. So Luck at the Draw. I think it's Luck at the Draw Tournament Series is the group, and then Luck at the Draw. What's the page?
Look at the Draw Fishing Tournaments, I think.
Okay. But essentially, one of the first things I want to go over is just how everybody here met. I mean, essentially more us three, because if you know Jared and I,
Yep.
I mean, we're born on the same day. Went to high school together.
Yeah.
Y'all were born on the same day.
Born on the same day. Born at the
hospital.
same hospital.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, and so crazy, our licenses, our IDs have the same birthday.
Oh, yeah.
So every time that we go out to eat or get a margarita or something, we both show them an ID that says December 1st, and they're like, yeah, right, yeah.
Likely story. But yeah.
Where'd y'all get these at?
But no, I think y'all met first, to be honest with y'all.
Yeah, so I think the first time I officially met Jared was at Livingston.
Yep.
In, what was it, 2020 or 21?
21. Yeah. You guys won that tournament.
Yeah, we did win that one. That was
that was the first time we met?
Yeah.
Whatever. You and Justin beat me and Zach?
Yeah, that was.
Still mad about that.
Yeah, that was the first time we met. We had seen each other.
Y'all got second.
We got second, yeah. I was about to say, we weighed in, and I was like, there's no way we're losing on Livingston.
Yeah, so I had actually talked to Jared several times before that, but I was fishing a different trail at the time, so I never got the chance. And finally, I got the chance to go fish that one. So
You shouldn't have.
I think I fished every one. I think I fished every single one since that one.
I think you have as well.
Yeah, really appreciate that, man. It's what it's all about. And
I think I didn't officially meet you until my first night tournament.
Yeah. I think we had seen each other around, but we hadn't officially met. So.
Yeah. Another thing that we're going to get into, man, is your backstory. So how did we get into bass fishing, man? We started out with Zebcos or straight into the bait casters or straight in the tournament series?
Man, that's a funny story. You know, my grandpa bought a boat in '93. I was born in '97. Basically I was born into it. So, it's funny you say that. There's a whole story behind that.
Yeah. Yeah, cool, man. So just grew up fishing all your life, right?
Yeah, man. Pretty much my whole life. My grandpa bought that boat in '93. Before that, he had fished for 15 years out of a 15-foot VIP with a 50-horse Johnson. So
yes, sir.
You see somebody in that these days, they're like,
So you grew up fishing. When did you fish your first tournament?
Probably, man. I can recall times riding in the rod box with my dad while he was fishing the Federation. I'm serious. 4 or 5 years old, 40 degrees outside, and I'm riding in the rod box, dude. Personally, the first one I was actually entered to fish was probably in 2004 or 5. I was 7 or 8.
Yeah.
So.
Man, that's cool. How'd y'all do in that tournament?
Not very good. I tell you what, back then so we fished this sub deal that the Federation used to do, and it was all junior kids, like 15 and younger, I believe, and you could weigh in anything you caught. And the first tournament we fished was on limestone. And we caught white bass all day, and we weighed in like a one-man limit of white bass. Oh, so I don't think we caught a single largemouth all day, but we were slaying the white bass, dude.
There you go, dude. So. Man.
No, dude. Jared, our first tournament, remember that? Sam Rayburn,
Angler's Quest. Yeah.
He just got his boat like the week before. He called me up. I was still at Nacogdoches, and he was like, "Let's go." I was like, "I'm down." We get out there. It's like 18 degrees and raining.
Oh,
yeah.
Man,
so let me tell you guys, I bought my boat in August of 2020, and I hit the ground running. Like I fished every tournament that I could possibly get into. Didn't care like how much it cost. I was just fishing tournaments, right? Like, and then the first tournament I fished was the in my boat. I fished a couple big bass big bass tours on Conroe with some other people. But the first one I fished in my boat was Big Bass Splash on Rayburn at the fall tournament, right? Me and Brendan Long, and dude, we fished 2 practice days, and it was a 3-day tournament. We fished the first 2 days and didn't catch any keepers, like maybe 2 shorts, you know. And then the 3rd day we were like, you know what, we're gonna go all the way to a different boat ramp. We launched at Castle Boykins and Umphreys the first 2 days, and then the 3rd day we went to all the way to St. Augustine. Dangerous place to put in if you don't know the lake. There, and so we did that. And I had just downloaded the boat lanes chip the night before. and we went over there. I think it's like Miller Creek or something. And at this time, it's matted with grass. And it is amazing looking, you know. So, like, naturally, you're going to throw some topwaters, right? So, like, I'm throwing a frog. And I get hit a few times. Didn't connect on anything. Brendan has a whopper plopper. And he catches a 376, and we thought that thing was like a 5-pounder. Dude, like, after you don't see, and so we went all the way from St. Augustine and ran to Umphreys to weigh in, and Brendan weighed in that fish. He was
in the trailer. Y'all ran?
No, we ran the whole way. Hey, and this is part of the story. So we ran all that way, weighed in the fish. He was the last check. So he got like half of his entry fee back.
He was the last one.
The last check of the like, it was like paid out like 15 places. He was 15.
Y'all earned that money. That's a long run to get that check.
Okay, and then I don't know my boat very well. I think somebody told me, "Oh, your boat can run 4 days on a full tank of gas." and which is not true. Look, we get all the way back to where we can see St. Augustine boat ramp and run out of gas. And then we had to troll back to the boat ramp. Brendan had to get out, throw a rope to me, pull me up on the boat trailer. And then he's cussing at me the whole time because
I would be too.
That's funny.
I would be
That's
too.
hilarious.
No, it was funny, man. And then me and Colby got into fishing Angler's Quest. Me and you fish Angler's Quest, the Sam Rayburn series. Me and Brendan were fishing the Conroe. So like every other weekend. And then I would hop in other tournaments. So like 4 weekends in a row, every month I was fishing. But man, that was some good times. I don't get to fish near as many now.
Right.
Oh, so man, so what all trails do you fish?
Well, right now I'm primarily fishing the daytime. During the day, I'll fish luck of the draw. Pretty much only. I do fish a series on Lake Livingston called Cranky Hookers.
Yep.
They're some good guys. Kind of a smaller local deal. You'll see 10 to 15 boats, but it's kind of a cool deal, especially this time of year. It's only half a day, so.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
And I also fish the Conroe Night Series. That's a fun time for the night.
Oh, dude.
No, dude, don't be humble.
I'm just saying.
You tournament director.
You run the Conroe Night Series.
Fish Conroe Night Series.
I do. I got some good help too. So, yeah, we run the Conroe Night Series out there on Lake Conroe once a month, 8 p.m. to 3 a.m. We're trying to get a new one started.
The early bird. I'm looking forward to it, man.
So 8 p.m. to 1 a.m. action. That way people can still get up and go fishing Saturday morning.
There you go.
Since we run our tournaments on Friday night, so.
Yeah, which we need to talk about because it's football season.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know this, but
I mean,
Friday's football games.
So why don't you do one series that's the Friday night and then the other one that's the Saturday night?
Yeah, we can do the early bird.
I don't want to put you on the spot.
I'm
just making suggestions.
I like it.
No, put it on the spot. We need it.
I like it. I do like it. Maybe we could. I don't know. It'd be tough to do them both on the same weekend, but
that'd be miserable.
You would be. I ain't fishing both. That's for sure.
Yeah,
bro. It takes me all weekend to recover from the one night.
No doubt. After those 3 a.m.s, we're not out of there till 4:30 after weigh-in and checks and everything else. Man, it would be tough to do both on the same weekend. But
dude, I mean, luckily for me, whenever I leave, Jared's drive is about as equal as mine. So we just call each other. Like even though I'm going north, he's going back home. Or I'm just going south.
The only way to not be tired after you leave there is just win, because then you're all full of adrenaline.
Yeah, Jared, we get it. You won.
No, I'm just saying. That was mostly Logan. All right, he caught most of them. I caught one or two.
Yeah.
But
it's a fun time out there for sure, man. Especially, I'm looking forward to it not being super hot, so that way we can all kind of actually catch fish. And
that's the best thing about the night series is it's not as hot.
The last 2 times I've been out there, I've weighed in 1 fish, so it's been tough this summer.
Yep.
No doubt, man.
Well, man, also getting into last year on Luck of the Draw, Angler of the Year, finally. Yeah, it's well deserved as well. Going back over some of the tournaments, I'm just going to do a small little recap. So Lake Belton, you weighed in.
We'd like to hear, if we get to a lake and you have a good story about that lake, we want to hear it, bro.
Yeah. So Lake Belton.
That's tough. I might have a good story for all of them.
Hey, and that's what we're here for.
Yeah, you're not wrong. I mean, what one was 10-5.
Right.
So, I mean, that's 5 fish. Y'all had 5-7 with 3.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we move over to October with Cedar Creek. 5 fish for 14 pounds, 4 ounces. So, what one is 23. So, you're in third right there. Next up on the list, we got Conroe. Y'all weighed in 4 for 10 pounds even. So what won that is 18-7. Then Lake Somerville, everybody's favorite lake.
I hate Somerville, but it's starting to grow on me a little bit because every time I go there, I catch a little more fish.
Dude, okay, I agree that I will give a lake every shot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Everything. I literally put on here on our weight, LOL. Because that's how I felt that day. Whenever like Billy and Nathan pull out a 9-1 kicker and weigh in 25 pounds, and Jared and I fish for the full 9-10 hours. Yeah. I don't get a bite. We catch one at 6:45, and then we're just throwing. I picked up a frog. I was throwing a frog in 14 foot of water or whatever. I was just trying to have fun at that point.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, man, let's go back to Belton. I feel like he has some good stories on Belton.
Man, Belton was it was a tough tournament. I will tell you, I put more time in for that tournament than any of the other tournaments, with the exception of Rayburn. We spent probably, we spent 3.5 days, but those 3 full days that we spent, it was daylight till dark. And I will tell you, in 3.5 days, I caught 3 keeper fish. One of them was 14 1/4, and it was almost dead. It was like one of those fish that shouldn't even be alive, but it was still swimming. It was like super skinny, all deformed. I was really, to tell you the truth, I was beat after that.
The lake was low, really super low. It was super hot.
10-foot low.
God, man. I caught my first smallmouth. Did you catch any smallmouth?
I did. During the tournament, I caught my first one.
Nice.
I caught my first one,
And then I caught the big smallmouth of the tournament, which ended up being the big bass of the tournament. And, dude, that was the most fun fish I've ever caught. Like, I would take a 3.5 smallmouth over, like, a 6 largemouth.
I remember watching the video of that on YouTube. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was a fight, bro. When he bit it, he knocked the fire out of it. It was crazy.
See, and then I'm in a boat with Zach, right?
Yeah.
Right. So Zach's been up there the same time that y'all have been up there pre-fishing. Obviously, Friday nights football games. Can't really skip those. So I get off the football game, drive all the way to Belton, get there at 1 a.m. Go to sleep, wake up, get in the boat with Zach. He's throwing a jerkbait, smallmouth, all shorts. But I'm like, okay, I don't catch a single fish that day, dude. Dude, like every fish that Zach catches is shorts, and I'm over here throwing the exact same thing.
That's tough.
Nothing, dude.
Hey.
Like we can see him too. The Belton's clear enough.
Yeah,
I can see him swimming.
Yeah, mind you though, that was a hot day.
Yeah,
and it had been hot for several weeks. It was kind of late summer, I guess, basically.
Well, the weekend before that, me and you go up there. I make a blind cast, just trying to get a spool reset, basically. Snap into that 5.4 or whatever on a fluke of all things.
Weightless fluke in 16 foot of water. Just lets it sink.
Oh, man.
5.5, a largemouth. Man, it was crazy.
Yeah, we'll put that picture up right here.
Yeah, there you go.
I'll do it.
No, that tournament was tough, man. Because I will tell you, the day before the tournament, we ran way up north, and you mentioned the lake was super low. We smashed an underwater bridge on plane.
Oh man!
Just smashed it. And see, it was kind of messed up. We looked up as I was talking to my dad because we were trying to figure out where we were going to go, and we were just brainstorming at that point. And I look up, and there's an underwater bridge about 2 inches out of the water. You can barely see it. And as I look up, I'm like, oh crap, I'm 25 yards from this thing. I'm about to destroy the boat. And I whipped it to the left, and I missed the tall part of it, but the lower unit snagged the back, the bottom of that bridge. And we didn't think anything of it. Well, we went to our first spot tournament day. Came off plane, fished for a little bit, didn't catch anything, got back on plane. We fished for 5 minutes and we were, boom, going to the next spot. And as soon as I took off, it blew the prop hub out.
Oh, dude.
So we were 5 mile an hour all day long.
Oh, dude, that's so tough. A long idle bag, right?
Yeah.
Did y'all see that video on Facebook of that guy running that river I think it was the Mississippi River, and he hit that underwater stump and blew his motor.
The whole motor tore the
that thing.
If you look and there's a slow motion of it, you can see the motor flying in the background.
Yeah, that dude, he hit that hard too. That was
spun around.
Yeah.
Oh, that kind of stuff scares me for sure. Oh man, so we already talked about Cedar Creek a little bit, so we don't really need to go back over that. And Conroe, that was a windy day. Me and Colby We launched at Stowaway.
Yep.
We ran all the way to League Line, to the dam.
Well, first off, we hit that first little cove.
Weirs Creek, yeah.
Yeah, we went in there and we were looking back out at the main lake, and I was like, it might have laid down, Jared. Like, it doesn't look that bad.
Yeah.
So we decided, and as soon as we hit the lighthouse.
Yeah, it was fairly good.
Yep.
Like under to the bridge, and then like we were like, okay, this is like I've been in way worse, right? And then when we get to the lighthouse out in the middle of the lake, we were like, well, there's no turning back now, and we just kept on trucking down the League Line.
That was a tough tournament, man. The 30-mile-an-hour winds. I think it was 30 degrees on tournament day.
It was brutal.
I mean,
Yeah,
pretty much everything that was, all your offshore, main lake offshore stuff was non-existent. You couldn't even get out there. It was so rough out there.
You couldn't fish it at all, and a lot of fish were caught up shallow from what I heard on that one.
I mean, 18-7 won it though, so I mean that's
that's a rough day for Conroe.
I think we caught all 4 of our fish on the same rock bridge area. It was. You couldn't go nowhere. We were stuck. We broke our trolling motor on the way there. It was a mess, man.
Y'all are notorious for breaking stuff, man.
We also put in at Stowaway, but we ran 70 mile an hour from Stowaway all the way south, and it was not fun.
So you broke the boat at Choke Canyon. You broke the boat at Belton.
Yep.
You broke the boat at Conroe.
We blew the power head at Choke Canyon last year.
Yeah,
that was.
And then we can't forget about the spinnerbait.
The spinnerbait.
To the Lorance.
Oh, man. We'll get to that.
What was that on?
Well, that was on Pines, the last
one.
That was
championship.
That was at the championship.
Dude, okay, so then we got Somerville. You hated Somerville. You may still hate Somerville.
I do still hate Somerville.
But you guys, you didn't weigh in a huge bag. It was 12.7, but that was the first limit, right, you've ever caught on Somerville?
That was the first limit I've ever caught on Somerville. We spent 2 days out there practicing the weekend before, and it was. We found some interesting stuff, nothing that was special, and then we went out there the day of the tournament and didn't catch a damn thing doing what we were doing before. So I found a rock pile. That was the only thing I knew to do, and I threw a square bill on it on the same. I'm serious. Power pulled down on the same stretch of rocks. 4 of our 5 keepers came in a 5-hour span.
God.
It was the same repetitive cast. There was one rock. The lake was also low then too.
Yeah.
There was one rock on that ledge, and every now and then that square bill would hit that rock and bounce off. And if I hit it just right, I would get a bite. And I think I caught 5 or 6 fish there, but only 4 of them were keepers. So,
man. So there's a common theme to every tournament this year. It was that the lake was low. Like we're gonna say that about every lake.
Pretty much.
Yeah, I feel like we're gonna have
it may be a
repeat season.
It's funny. Livingston was low when we started the series last year, and then we got a ton of rain a few weeks before it came up.
And it was washed it out.
Yeah.
So man, the next one, and I know you have a good story on this one, Lake Tyler. Tell us about that fish, bro. And I'm gonna put a video up of it. But tell us about that fish.
All right, so during practice, we ran around, found a lot of piles and stuff that were spread out. There's brush piles on that lake everywhere. It's almost kind of like a Conroe with the amount of attention that it sees from the local people that live there. There's tons of videos. I mean, Ben Milliken's done some out there, but
that was a good video.
Yeah,
that was cool.
It was, yeah. Basically, during practice, going into it, everybody said there was grass. There was hardly any grass in the lake.
I didn't find any.
Yeah,
Me and Colby went everywhere to find grass. We never found it
before.
I never saw a lick of grass. I guess somebody caught grass during the tournament. I think Matt said he found like one little patch.
We found one little patch, and it was the same patch that Matt found.
In our back door.
Yeah.
In the house that we were staying.
Yeah, we didn't. There was no grass. I mean, there was some. That tournament was weird too because we had the temperatures where they were going up and down and up and down. I think morning of the tournament it was 30 degrees. During the day it was 70. It was just everything was all crazy. But during practice I found some fish on the dam that were they were during practice they were actually a little bit bigger during practice, but I caught 2 4-pounders back-to-back casts in practice, and I immediately left. And then the tournament was the next day. We go out there, and I think we caught 3 or 4 keepers before we ran into that big one. So we're sitting there, and I had marked a bunch of brush piles, but I had missed that one. And we pull up to this. We're on the dam. We're fishing the dam, and there's a boat in front of us. It's like an old John boat with 2 older guys sitting on their stools just fishing. They threw out a buoy, an orange buoy. And this dam drops off quick. It's 30 foot where they are pretty much, where they're sitting. They're throwing into like 25.
Right.
And we watched them like catch 2 or 3 fish sitting right there. Well, I'm sitting there thinking, I'm like, surely they're not going to leave that freaking. In my head, I was like, they're not going to leave that buoy. I'm going to have to go find it with the active target. And they left that buoy sitting right on top of that brush pile. They left it sitting right on top of that brush pile. And when we got to it, I was throwing a wacky worm, and it's just a nail in the head. It's just a nail head wacky worm with a little 1/0 hook, dude. And I had it in my hand on a spinning rod throwing an 8-pound test, and I literally just out of curiosity, I just kind of flipped it out there and I dropped it on the active target right on top of the brush pile. And after I saw it fall in there, I just kind of sat there and I let it sit there for a few seconds because I was fairly certain I was going to get hung up in it. And when I pulled up, I just felt dead weight. And I thought I was hung up at first. And then when I pulled up even more, I was like, oh, this is a good one. And then he come up, and the fish came up and jumped the opposite way. And, man, I thought I was going to break him out.
Oh, man.
When he gets in the boat, and I just go berserk. 6.5-pounder.
Yeah, baby, let's go!
No. It was an 8-pounder.
Well, I did think it was
Oh my god, dude, that's an 8-pounder.
I did. I thought
that's
that
an
was
8-pounder,
a
dude.
I did. I was being generous when I said 8 pounds. I thought it was a freaking 13. I was like, oh,
let's go,
dude. So I made it. I don't know if you saw it. I made a TikTok, and it was like the progressions of catching a 6-pounder, and it was like when you hook it, oh, it's a giant, and then when you're reeling in, that's an 8. That's an 8, and you get in the net, oh, it's a 7.
Yeah. Dude, that was one of those. Thank you, Lord. Appreciate you for that one. It was everything. That was the turning point of that. Really, Somerville was kind of the turning point, but that fish right there made our whole season. I mean, without that, I think we finished third. That was
14-7.
That was probably one of the top 3 moments of the year right there.
Yeah. I mean, y'all tied Big Bass with that.
Yeah. The guy who won that thing smashed him.
Yeah, Brian.
He was.
Yeah. And we were there the week before, and he won the Media Bass tournament that was there too. So
that dude, like I was looking at the tournament results, and he even before and after our tournament, he kept on winning like that. Man,
he was on. He had a dial in.
Yeah, he knows where to go.
Yeah.
That's right.
Can't blame him.
The next one, bro, Lake Houston. How did you do? Let me see what you did.
I think we got 6th out of 17.
Yeah, 6th.
I think it was our lowest finish of the year.
Hey, y'all weighed in 8-6.
Dude, hey, 6th place out of 16 boats, and that's your lowest finish of the year. That's what wins Angler of the Year, bro.
Yeah,
that's what wins AOI.
That was a good tournament. I mean, I think we caught 5 fish total. One of them was a white bass. The other 4 were keepers. One was barely over the line.
Hey man, we had one for 3-7.
Yep.
Colby just flipped a creature bait. I can't remember. It was just like this little random
It was the
bait.
Dean Rojas frog, the soft plastic frog.
Yeah. That's funny.
It was a frog. I swear to God.
Oh my God.
I remember being a frog too.
It was a frog. I promise you.
Hey, under this random dock, like a do nothing dock, and he set the hook, and I was like, I didn't even believe him. I was like, you got a log or something, bro. You got the post, and that fish jumped, and I like didn't know what to do. Just.
Yeah, that tournament was weird. So we went to Lucy's Bayou, and we stopped at the first point when you come into Lucy's. one of my first casts, I set the hook and he snapped me right off on a rock or a tree or something. I had him for a second and he got wrapped around something. Or I was just hung up because I'm stupid. But
hey, we're going to go with the fish.
Yeah, we've all been there.
Yeah, and then Dad lost one, snapped him right off. We were fishing rocks and he had him on for several seconds and he probably had a fray in his line from hitting those rocks. And then I think we went to another rock pile. We pulled up on it, and there was a boat leaving right where we were going to pull up. In my first cast, I caught our first keeper, and I was good with that. I didn't catch a single keeper in practice, and that one was good. And then we pulled up onto some floating, like, what do they call that, Salvania?
Yeah.
And
giant Sylvania.
yeah, the last hour, I think Chandler was sitting there watching us the last hour, and every few minutes I would hook one off that floating Salvania on the edge.
Really?
Yeah, it was.
Man. I mean, at the end of the tournament, it was me and Jared, you and your dad, Chandler, and then Zach all on the same.
Right before y'all pulled in, within a 30-minute span, I caught those 3 other keepers, boom, 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 right there. And Chandler was like, dude, what do I got to do to get a bite? I'm telling you, I told Chandler, I was like, I don't even know how this is happening.
I mean, that same cut is where that 3.7 came off of.
Yep.
Yeah. We saw other people catching fish out of that same area, so I think we were all sharing fish.
Popular spot. Yeah.
At one point, I told Jared we were just going to go crappie fish with the rest of them, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Like, everybody was over there tearing them up.
Dude, those crappie fishermen get beat to death because there's boats running up and down. They're probably used to it by now.
No, the crazy part is that they'll just wave you on through.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
you ain't got to slow down.
Don't worry about it.
I'm like, I feel bad if we don't.
Yep.
Oh, man. Lake Livingston. Last one before the championship.
Yep.
This was the one that sealed the deal.
You skipped Sam, dude. Calm down.
Did I skip Sam Rayburn?
Yeah.
We skipped Sam.
He's been waiting for that one all day.
No, shoot. No, I'll do anything to not talk about Lake Livingston.
Yeah. Sam Rayburn was a good one.
Oh, I remember Sam Rayburn.
I spent a lot of time practicing for that tournament. I was up the week before. I think I came down Tuesday night and stayed at my wife's family's place up there. And daylight till dark, Wednesday through Friday. I spent probably 18 hours idling around that week.
Bro.
And I never found anything that looked like it was worth a damn at all.
Nothing was.
Yeah.
No.
And then, of course, I have some history where I know where fish will set up shallow, which is, everybody can go catch fish on that lake shallow, but you're not going to, you can catch quality up there, but it's, hit or miss. Some guy can pull up on the one stretch of bank and catch 20 pounds, and then you can catch 9 pounds behind them or in front of them. Or the lake's a good lake, but then tournament day we had 500 high school boats at the same time.
Oh, dude! Also the 40-mile-per-hour wind blowing straight into Jackson Hill.
Super muddy.
Yeah.
We had our weigh-in at Jackson Hill, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And so me and Colby didn't find nothing in practice. It was just absolutely nothing, right? And then so was it the first day of practice? Or maybe it was just the first day of the tournament, I can't remember, where we go drive up to Etoile and launch at that Etoile public ramp.
Toriak Angelina branch.
Yeah.
And so
you're fishing in chocolate milk.
Chocolate milk, but it was the day before.
Yeah, it was
maybe
practice.
It was at the end of the day. We went along that little rock stretch. He actually had to just go use the restroom. He got out, and our house was right down the road.
I think I remember.
So I was just fishing the little riprap, and I ended up catching 2 3-pounders back to back. And I was like, oh, this is the spot, And then so the next morning we launched there because it was trailering, right?
Yeah.
We launched there, get in the boat, started up, back up, put it forward, and then turn the key off. That was a long ride. How about that ride in?
Yeah, exactly. I'm here bundled up still.
And then we fished that. I catch 3 casts in on a chatterbait, catch one, and I'm like, dude, this is it, So throw them in the live well, keep flipping, and ended up breaking one off that felt like I thought it was another around 3-pounder, right? And I was like, all right, no problem, get back in the game, and then end up missing another bite around the same. Keep on doing that, and then the day just turned to crap. If it could go wrong, it did go wrong.
Yep.
It was blowing ridiculously hard.
That wind picked up bad.
Our trim, my trim switch, like, I don't know, it still happens sometimes when it rains, especially.
Yeah.
It gets stuck in the down position. Like, it won't let me trim up. And we're going in this bad wind, trim down the whole way. So we're just like nosediving these waves.
Oh,
and
man.
it's like up the river.
Yeah.
So like there's bad stumps everywhere. So I'm like trying to keep it on the line, like spearing waves.
Oh, that's messed up.
It's a good day.
It was not.
It was a tough day. What won that tournament? I think it was like
13 even.
13.
13, yeah.
Yeah,
We had
Cole and Bailey.
So much boat traffic, and the weather sucked, and
Yeah.
that was it could have been a lot better conditions for that tournament.
Yeah.
Hey, who knows?
It was a fun one.
This year,
It was
maybe.
still fun. Yeah, I hope so.
Probably,
I hope we
probably
go.
be about the same.
I hope we go in March again, but I hope it's sunny and they're all on beds.
That would be awesome. We were really hoping for that, but it just didn't happen.
Yeah.
And there's not a whole lot to say about Livingston. I mean, me and Brendan and Squeak, at least, I'm sure those other guys, like half the field didn't weigh in.
Yep.
Half the field didn't show up. The other ones showed up just to see who weighed in.
Yeah.
Literally, how many people weighed fish?
4 or 5?
4 teams weighed in fish
Out of 12.
Out of 12.
Yeah.
And yeah, we just went in early and ate at what's that place called right there?
Chasers.
We ate at Chasers, and we were like, well, it was terrible.
It
was not at that tournament, so.
That one, man, I'll tell you, I fish Livingston on a regular basis. I fish it at least once a month, sometimes 2 or 3 times a month. And I've fished it that way for several years. I'll tell you, in all that time, I spent a lot of time on that lake during the spawn, and I have never caught a fish that was bigger than 10 inches on a bed on that lake.
Really?
And I pulled up. It's funny, the guys who won it, Corey and his partner, I can't remember his partner.
Travis Dean.
Corey's just stick out there too. I think what they have 13, 12?
13.3.
Yeah. So that's a massive sack for that lake.
Yeah, no doubt.
But
no doubt.
They had fished this same wall that I was on, and they started there. We started in a different place, but I think he fishes that area a lot. I'm not 100% sure, but he started on that wall, and we went in there about 11 o'clock. It was later in the day, and we go in there, and we're fishing this. It's like a rock wall thing, and it's got some concrete bulkheads. Well, when that rock wall comes to the end, and it hits this concrete bulkhead, there's some rocks that are in the water, but they're not really rocks. They're like broke up concrete that used to be a road, but they're flat. And there was like 6 inches of water, and I think that's the only spot on that lake that you can actually see into the water. And there was a 3-pounder sitting right there on a bed in late April.
No way.
I'm serious. And they had fished it the whole day, and he must have pulled up after they had left, because that fish was sitting right there. My first cast, I flipped in there. He hammered it, and I hooked him and got him halfway to the boat, and he came off. And he went right back to the bed. I'm serious. He went right back to the bed, and I spent another half hour trying to catch that fish. And eventually I caught him.
Bro.
It was like a gift from God. I'm like, oh, because at that point we were struggling. We had 2 in the box at that time. We ended up with 4, but that was a gift from God. That
No
fish
doubt.
sitting on the bed.
No doubt, dude. So bed fishing and like sight fishing in general is a lot of fun, man. But you can get stuck on fish too much.
Yep.
Me and Brendan did that. We fished the Sunday morning on Conroe, and in the first 10 minutes we had 4 fish for 14 pounds.
Dang it.
And I was like, dude, this is the best day ever, right? And then we get stuck on this one fish, which we thought was a lot bigger than it actually was. It ended up only being like a 2.5, but we thought it was like a 4,
Mm-hmm.
And so we kept using these little small Senkos like wacky rig, right? And we just kept flipping in there. Well, Brendan, I flip in there. He bites it, set the hook, breaks it off, right? Like the hook's still in his mouth. He goes right back to the bed. Brendan flips in there a few times. He nips at it or whatever. But anyway, he finally bites it. breaks that one off, but he leaves a long leader. So this fish has 2 hooks in his mouth now. He leaves a really long leader on there, and then I'm flipping in there. I'm like, we're getting our hooks back, you know. And then so we're going in there. He bites it again. Like, this dude is pissed off, you know. And so we go back in there, and then he bites it, and I start reeling him in. Well, then he spits the hook. But then my hook gets wrapped around Brendan's leader.
Oh, my God.
And we get the fish in. Like, hook to the leader to the other hook with the third hook in his mouth. Like,
oh, man.
Oh, it was the craziest thing.
It
was fun, though. It was a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And then, hey, we're wrapping it up now.
Wrapping it up with the championship.
Yeah. Lake of the Pines, man. I had a blast.
It was a fun time.
It really was. Not as many boats because somebody, planned it on Mother's Day weekend. Yeah, like that was.
I told my mom a happy Mother's Day.
But no, not that many boats. Hopefully this year is a bigger turnout. But fun lake. You know me, and I'll throw a frog whenever it's 12 degrees outside. So that was the one time that it actually paid off.
Yeah, and we did, and we found one spot on the whole south end with the lily pads. One spot. The north end was full of lily pads, right?
Grass.
We found one little cove with some dying lily pads. Like I'm sure everybody just breezed by it because they were all looking dead, you know. Mm-hmm. And I caught 2 fish there in practice, and I caught 2 fish on a point in practice, and I left everything else alone, and I just kind of did whatever the rest of the day. Yeah. Well, tournament morning, we go to that first lily pad spot. Bro, Colby, we had a limit by we launched at like 6, right?
We had a limit at 6:30.
We had a limit at 6:30. Probably before that, to be honest with you. And then we fished the whole rest of the day. Didn't really. I think we may have called. Oh, we got on that rock wall at the end next to the point that I caught. Like the 2 spots I found in practice are the 2 spots that paid off. And then we're throwing crankbaits, and just this one very specific crankbait Colby was throwing. Like, it was so realistic looking, and he was catching them. I was throwing another one that looked really similar, but it wasn't the same one. I was not getting a bite. And
dude, the crazy part is how we got on that crankbait bite is that we were just done with the day by that point. Yeah. I was fried, sunburnt, and then I just picked it up and just started burning literally a nothing bank. Nothing on it at all. And pulled 2 off of it. So Jared was like, let's just run this for the other 2 hours that we had. We probably caught 13 fish in that 2 hours.
That was a tough tournament for us, man. I shouldn't say tough. We caught a lot of fish, but
it was a lot of fish tournament. It wasn't a very big fish tournament at all. Like, we won the tournament, and both days 11 pounds, right? Like, then the second day, we got to tell this. You could tell this story about your big fish up north.
How about that too?
And if you haven't seen our TikTok page, go follow our TikTok page. This is one of the best videos.
Dude, so we start out at that same little cove. I think we catch 1, maybe 2. We fish it again for another 2 hours or so, and then finally I'm like, let's just go find some more lily pads. I was like, we're in first by 3 pounds, or 2 pounds. Y'all had 9.5, we had 11. Yep. I was like, we're in first by 2 pounds. I was like, we got some wiggle room. So we book it all the way north, like all the way up to the lily pads, and like, this is where we're gonna absolutely demolish them. That did not happen, by the way.
We caught 1 fish.
We caught 1 fish. So we're in the thick of it, just trolling in and out of stuff, and all of a sudden Jared's like, I don't think this is paying off, man. We might as well just turn around and go back. And I see just a little bubble come
look like a bluegill, just boop.
Yeah. And I was like, okay, cast over there. I give it 2 twitches, and at that point Jared's already turned the boat to head out, so I can't even see my frog, and then I just hear it. So I just set the hook as hard as I can, and that's whenever I guess the 3.7 comes out of there. And a 3.7 at that point, I mean,
there we are.
12 pounds to me.
Oh yeah.
Not literally, but
yeah. I was on the trolling motor and like trying to get like the lily pads off my trolling motor, so I'm like not even paying attention, and I hear just a sploosh and a hook set, and I look over, and the water's pretty clear up there, and like so I see this what looks like a 5-pounder swimming through this clear water, and I'm just like,
Jared's just standing there, I'm like, get the net.
I'm just like looking at the fish, like, that's a big fish.
That was a fun tournament, man. The first day we smashed them, but they were all
short.
They were all short.
Yeah.
I think we had 1 over 3 pounds or 1 right at 3 pounds. And then the second day, we went in there, and I had one every bit of 5 pounds on, and he jumped. And he spit my spinnerbait right at me. And speaking of that, spinnerbaits.
Let's get into it. Yeah, there it is.
I lost that. It was probably every bit of 4.5 pounds. And then about a couple hours go by, and we don't get another bite. The same place we caught all our fish the first day. That was the only bite we had in there the second day. And we go up to this point and had some cypress trees in the water that we were fishing. And my dad he's throwing a spinnerbait too, or I think he was throwing a chatterbait. It might have been a chatterbait or a spinnerbait. I can't remember. We were rotating back and forth. He throws, and I heard something at the time I didn't realize, but he hit something as he was throwing. No big deal, whatever. And we didn't think anything of it. We fished for another hour in there, and never got another bite in there. And then I go to sit down. I sit down in the console. I'd start the motor up. I look up, and I'll go to adjust the map to see where we're going next. And I'm like, what the hell? I look at him. I'm like, what the heck did you do? And the screen on this $3,000 Rance is just shattered. He smashed it with that damn spinnerbait, man.
Dude, that's brutal. Knock on wood, dude, I have not had that happen yet. I've broke lures and I've broke other stuff on my trolling motor head, which is
another TikTok.
Hey,
that TikTok's funny,
dude. So like, I don't think that the video captures how funny this was.
It does not.
You just had
a delusion, but
yeah, we weren't catching a whole lot of fish, you know, we were on Fairfield, so it's 18-inch thing, so. We didn't have any keepers, right? Yeah. And we're chunking in grass, and I have this hybrid hunter, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm just chunking it. That's the only thing we've caught any kind of fish on. And so I go and I nail the trolling motor head, just bow, you know, and then get it out there. And then I'm reeling it in, and Colby's like, "Oh man, I hope that didn't crack your bill." And what it did, it split the bill from the lure body. So the only thing that was still tied onto the line was the bill. And then I like reeled it up, and I was like, "No, the bill's fine." And dude, maybe it's not that funny, but it was hilarious.
It was funny at the time.
Yeah, no doubt.
Oh man. All right, man. So, what tournament? Not time of season, time of year. What lake and tournament are you looking forward to 23-24 season?
I hate to say this because I don't know if I'm looking forward to it or if I'm more anxious about it. I really want to get Somerville out of the way. I want to go to Somerville and I want to see what it's like now because I don't really particularly like that lake, but me personally, if I feel like I can do good on the lakes that I'm not very good at, I can do good at the end of the year in the standings. So,
no doubt.
which worked out good for us last year, you know.
Hey, and we didn't touch on this. I'm looking at it now. You had 67 points.
Yep.
That and the next team, which they didn't get to fish the last. They didn't get to fish Houston or Livingston, but. I still feel like you would have had a dominating lead. Sorry, Dylan. You had 67. They had 47. You won Angler of the Year by 20 points, bro. That's a very dominating lead, and that's awesome. So
yeah, it was a lot of good things happened, man. When you put the conditions in that we had with Conroe, and you know Somerville wasn't exactly Somerville at the time with the lake being so low. You know, I think our second biggest bag got cold out throughout the year. I think our second biggest bag was Cedar Creek, and we culled that out just because we didn't have the amount of people in it. But
yeah, and that's the hard thing. Yeah. And actually, man, like earlier in the season when we don't have as many boats because you got deer season going on, like people aren't fishing in the fall as much, and we can start getting the more boats. Yep. So like. I really want the big fish tournaments to be later because there's more of that chance to move way up, you know. Yeah. But
with Rayburn, I was so shocked that Rayburn. I mean, you have to understand though when you have 500 high school anglers fishing, you got that, and then you had Whack 'em Outdoors. I think the ABA.
The ABAs went out.
Top 150 was out too.
There was 5,000 boats on the lake.
Yeah. So I think that really hurt the attendance for that lake. And plus the weather sucked too. So,
Hey, but I'll go ahead and tell you, up north of the Atoyac and Angelina, not a soul. Other than Jared Fry and Colby Arnold.
We didn't see another boat.
We fished there the whole entire day.
For a while, bro.
And there was only one boat that came up, and it was like a little John boat. Like, he was out there just probably trot lining, you know what I mean? And he just ran all the way just straight underneath the bridge and kept on trucking.
We were around people all day. There was 10 boats in the cove where we started.
Dude.
It was jacked up.
Then Lake of the Pines had a high school tournament coming out of it too.
Yeah. There was a lot of boats on there that second, was it the first day?
Saturday, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Hey, and so Brendan, like, he had caught a couple fish in practice way up north. And y'all went up north, right? On Lake of the Pines?
Yeah, we went up north about midday. Yeah.
That boat lane is kind of sketchy. It's okay, but it's... If you don't know it well, like, it's kind of
for error.
Yeah,
it's a telephone pole, as someone did. You can see it out there.
Yeah. And so Brendan is not. He just got his boat, okay, and he's not very like used to new lakes.
Right.
Well, you can see it in the video. Like, I set GoPros up on everybody's boat, right, and so you can see it. We take off like 10 minutes before everybody else does, or maybe like it's around. Anyway,
it was shortly before.
Shortly before, and so he's making his way up north, kind of like not really flying, but just like 40 miles an hour or so. Well, these dudes are coming behind him hot, and they're cutting him off left and right, weaving in and out of the post, and he's cussing he's
like, you saw your mother. Yeah, you can hear it on the GoPro too, dude.
You can hear Squeak. You can hear Squeak next to him. Slow the hell down. Oh, it was hilarious.
Hey, there's not a lot of room to pass on those.
I don't blame them either, bro, because like, people don't care.
Yeah, there's some spots on that lane that you only have 40 to 50 feet of room, and passing, you're right there with them when you're passing people on that lane. It's sketchy in some spots, but
no doubt, man. So what? What's your favorite memory from
this year?
Of this last year?
Probably catching that 6.5 pounder on Tyler.
It's not what I had wrote down on here, man.
What'd you have wrote down?
It wasn't even a luck of the draw tournament.
Okay, so is it luck of the draw?
No. I want your favorite memory from. All it says is favorite memory from last year, other than winning AOI. So it doesn't have to be luck of the draw.
Yeah.
Damn.
You're probably not going to say what he has written down.
Yeah.
Say that.
Mine's very specific.
I don't know.
It was a friend tournament.
A friend tournament. Okay, that's. Are we talking about Fairfield?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm telling you right now, I thought I had a 5-pound crappie on the line, dude. I thought this thing was freaking ginormous.
That's not what he's talking about either, though.
No, I'm talking about afterwards, but keep going.
I missed the lake record by less than a quarter pound.
I remember that. I remember you brought it to weigh, and you're like, I'm putting it on the scales.
He brought a crappie to weigh. Hey, it was a huge crappie, dude.
That was messed up. That crappie was so huge. I thought for sure I had the lake record, dude. It was close.
No, dude, the post-tournament dinner at that sweet little gym that we found.
Dude,
okay.
El Jimador.
And let me tell you, not all Humidors are the same.
They're not.
They're not the same.
They're not at all.
That one, I'm telling you, I will. If I'm ever in that area within 100 miles, I'm going.
Yeah.
The food was good. The beer was like this tall and about that wide. It was so cold.
It was the biggest beer mugs I've ever seen.
Hey, come to find out though that Pluckers serves those same size.
Really?
Yeah, there's one over in Baybrook that we stopped at the other day.
That was a fun time. That was a good tournament.
It really was. I mean, the fishing sucked. I think we caught one.
Is it still open?
Where?
Fairfield.
No.
They did close it?
They closed it. And it's still an ongoing battle between the...
I got you.
Let them fish keep going.
As of right now, well, hey, if they ever open it back up, Those fish, it's going to be on fire, bro. Because
it's going to be on fire, but it's also going to have 1,000 boats on it every weekend.
That's true, but
you have to get there the night before.
You do,
and
no
sleep
doubt.
in the truck.
Bro, another place talking about fishing areas and restaurants. Sam Rayburn. I can't remember the name of this place. It's the Mexican food place. That Mexican food place.
Talking about
next to Humphreys.
Yeah.
Oh.
The worst margaritas, but the strongest margaritas. Like, you don't have to like it. You just drink one of them and you are like...
I tell you, I hate to be mean, but there ain't much that's any good in that restaurant. The food
Not
is
at
not
all.
good.
The food-
Chapala Mexican Bar and Grill.
Yeah,
I would rather eat a
Chapala.
block of cheese than the queso that they brought out to my table.
Hey, that's oddly enough, a block of cheese is on the picture. So,
I'm telling you.
so you probably get that.
That restaurant is not. It's not great. They need to up their cooks in the back.
No doubt. Hey, but they straight tequila those margaritas.
I think I'm gonna have to get me a tequila margarita next time I go in
Yeah,
there.
hey, and the ice isn't even good. Like, nothing about it's good.
Oh,
It's
man.
just...
Is it straight out of the bag ice? Or
dude, I don't even know how to explain it, man. It's
man.
that really hard, like, circle ice,
yeah.
and
Hey, but after a long day of fishing on Sam Rayburn, that is a 5-star restaurant to me. I don't care. It's like Taco Bell at 2 a.m.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it is.
Yeah. I will tell you, that donut store that's right there is open at like 4 a.m.
Really?
every morning. Yep. Because there's been times, I guess the gas station doesn't open until 6. And I've gone out there trying to put the boat in the water and I can't get a Red Bull. I can't use the damn restroom before I go to the damn ramp.
yeah, no doubt, man.
All right, Ron. Now we're getting into the nitty gritty. The serious questions now. Fan favorites, they wrote them in. Just kidding. we put a poll up.
We are the fans. We wrote them in.
Yeah, exactly. So essentially, what's the boat snack?
The boat snack.
Yeah, what's the snack that if you can take one and you're putting it on a boat with you, because you got to think you can't keep it cold. You know, I guess you can whenever we fish because it's 12 degrees. Yeah, you know, do you want it cold? Do you want it hot? No crumbs.
No crumbs.
Yeah, like that's the thing. Jared and I are on the same wavelength when it comes to our snacks. You got powdered donuts followed by
Nutter Butters.
That's it. That's literally our whole entire ice chest.
Hey, we don't even eat lunch. It's just powdered donuts and Nutter Butters.
Dude, I'll get done with the tournament and there's just crumbs of Nutter Butter in my jacket pocket because I've just got them in there.
And the occasional payday.
Okay.
I like the paydays.
Yep.
Okay, Colby doesn't. He calls me an old man.
Man, I tell you, one of the most. I guess I get the spicy nacho Doritos. Yeah,
Oh, you're a chip guy. Okay,
That's one of my more common ones.
Us with Funyuns.
Yeah. Probably it's either that or I don't even know what they're called. It's like a Danish kolache deal that they sell, and some of them are blueberry, some of them have cream cheese in them. I can't remember what they call them, but they only have them at certain gas stations.
Okay.
And those are pretty good.
Okay. So you're a gas station person.
Very,
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
No,
cool.
it depends.
Hey, all right, I want to insert one here. Favorite fast food after a day on the lake?
There's really only one right answer.
I don't know. I will tell you, after Belton last year, we had Cane's, and I hate Cane's, but Cane's was outstanding that day. Cane's,
fact
Taco
that
Bell, Whataburger, those three.
Whataburger's the go-to, man.
Yeah.
Just like after I'm cold, I know that Whataburger in the summertime is going to be like 12 degrees inside, and in the winter it's going to be 117.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, so like that's the
No in between.
That's the comfort food, exactly.
Yep.
They're appealing to a certain audience,
Yep.
and I'm that audience. So what's the dynamic like on the Ron's boats? Because I mean, like when you look, if you go back and look at GoPro footage of me and Jared fishing, we're not serious. Most of the time, there's music going. I'm singing, Jared singing.
Have you not seen the video of his dad throwing the fishing?
Damn it, son!
It's
That's
very
my favorite.
It's very serious.
That's my
atmosphere.
favorite video of the whole entire year.
Yeah, that was a funny one. Look, I'll tell you, me and Dad are super competitive. I grew up playing baseball. I played baseball in college, man. I love to compete, even if it's only 4 or 5 guys, I'm taking it very serious. Maybe I shouldn't. Maybe I should relax a little bit more.
No, bro, you just want to see. Yeah, that's how you get it.
When it's game on, dude, I can't relax. I gotta be running 100 mile an hour. I got things going through my mind that are crazy. You know, dad is kind of you see, he kind of gets excited when we catch a big one, but he's kind of the more calm, cool, and collected.
Yeah, we still got work to do. Get back in there.
Yeah. When I catch a big one, I'm going nuts. Yeah. I can't sit still. I look like a retard on the front of the boat. I'm trying to relax, and Dad's kind of he keeps his cool, and then I kind of lose my shit sometimes. But we kind of complement each other for the most part. So it's except when my rod gets in his way of him casting, of course.
Yeah, dude.
Which happens on a regular basis.
Dude, I just love seeing like the GoPro footage because you have Zach and his dad, Mr. Curtis, and then like as soon as Zach sets the hook, it is just chill Bill the whole entire time. He just puts it, reels it back in, not fast. Like he just reels it back in, sets it down, walks back there. Okay. Hey, walks back there, gets the net, and by the time that he gets back up there with the net, boom, fish is in. And me and Jared, we're singing probably Blink-182 by that point. Haven't caught a fish yet, so we catch a 1 pound short, and Jared's sprinting to the back of the boat and sprinting back up. You and your dad, and then Bo and Dylan. I guess it was Brandon and Dylan for the most of the time. Yeah.
Brandon and Dylan.
Yeah. I just love the little flashbacks of different things because it's me and Jared having a concert, and then everybody else being. Not that we're not serious. But whenever it's noon and you haven't caught a fish, there's no point.
If I had a radio on the boat, that thing would be going all day. But I don't feel like jacking with the Bluetooth speaker.
Oh, he's got the phone. The phone in the back pocket.
Set it down. I just can't hear it good enough for me.
That's why he puts it in his back pocket because it goes towards the back of the boat. Yeah.
No doubt, man. And
then 90% of the time his phone's gonna die at like 12:30. So.
Yeah,
man. That was it. It was really. And then I'll ask you one more, just my personal favorite. If I put you on a lake, on Pine Island, let's say Pine Island in Livingston, you know where that is. If I put you on Pine Island with one rod and a bait, how long do you think that you could last off of what you catch?
Survive.
On that lake.
Survive.
On that lake, one rod and what?
Whatever bait you choose.
On that lake, it would not take. I could live there the rest of my life. You give me a pot so I can boil water, I could live there for the rest of my life. With the amount of goo and white bass are in that lake.
No doubt. Catfish.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. Probably if I had a bait that I would choose, it would not be anything that would catch a largemouth.
No.
Hot dogs. Double whammy right there.
Yeah. Either that or I would just grab me a duck tracker slab. That I guess a local guy makes those, but they catch the fire out of the white bass, dude.
Bro, I'm excited. So I won, and it was two totally separate things. Like during the drawing at the benefit tournament, I won the duck tracker slabs.
Oh, you did win those.
I won those, and then separately I won a guided white bass trip.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. So he set up.
So I don't know. I'm meant to go white bass fishing.
Just bring Wesley with you and you'll have a time with that.
Well, I already...
he made an agreement with me.
I already made an agreement. Because Colby won the deer hunt, and so he's bringing me and I'm bringing him.
So once y'all go on the guided trip, you can just take Wesley back where y'all went before.
Exactly.
No doubt, dude.
Yeah. All right, Ron. I got one more question for you. And this is not fan favorite question that they wrote in. It's just more or less just why luck of the draw.
Man... I will tell you, I fished a lot of different things. I fished Bass Nation, I fished Space City Bass, I fished Texas Team Trail, Bassmaster Opens, I've fished all kinds of stuff. The problem I have with a lot of different tournament trails is inconsistency and camaraderie. I'll tell you, when you're fishing a tournament with 100+ boats, it's hard to kind of find those people that you get along with and stuff like that. With these guys, I'll tell you, even the locals, we're all chatting it up with them at the weigh-ins. These guys we've never met before in our lives. We all have a good time together, and I think eventually this deal will catch on to where we're seeing those 100 boat fields. But I think if you keep the same type of people that we're bringing in now and people that were already here, I think we'll all kind of have a good time together. So
I enjoy it, man. I was about to say the weigh-ins, registration, everybody, even though it's early. But, I mean, it's not – that's the only good thing about doing it in the fall, like late fall, winter, and early spring is that time change.
Yep.
So you get to sleep in a little bit later.
Frozen decks and all.
Yeah.
Frozen decks and all.
But, no, I mean, if whoever's coming out to fish our tournaments can bear the, whatever, 20, 25 to 30 degrees, or I mean, which isn't anything crazy once you get kind of out into it, but –
I mean, tournament fishermen should be used to that regardless. So.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, but you have some people that are just fair weather tournament fishermen.
Yeah. Wow.
I mean, once I hit like 28, that's what I'm gonna be.
that's this year.
Exactly.
We'll see Colby at the weigh-in.
That's mid-season.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll see Colby at the weigh-in.
Yeah, dude. But no, man, it's great. We're going on to our third season right now, so I'm looking forward to what's
gonna be a fun one. We have some
man?
names that I've seen talking about coming, so
I'm excited about that.
Yeah,
there's some popular names.
There's been a lot of people reach out to me. A lot of people reach out to him that we've talked back and forth about.
Yeah,
trying to lock down a couple more sponsors so we can we can make this year nice.
Yep, it's gonna be fun. I'm excited. I'm a little worried about this one. We've got some big names coming in this year. So.
Hey, I mean, that's perfectly fine with us, man.
Still got to catch the fish, though. Still got to catch them.
Yeah.
So.
But yeah.
It's been, I'm excited.
Me too.
It's going to be a fun year.
October 14th,
yes,
the countdown starts. So, I mean, we're about to be into September, and then we're...
Start doing some research, man.
Yep.
Really appreciate you coming on, man. This is our first podcast. I think it went really well.
It didn't do too bad.
Yeah, I'm excited to put this one out. So,
got a lot of editing to do now. And
oh shit, I got a lot of work for me.
Yeah, exactly. He's really excited to put it out. He just gave himself.
I didn't look and sound like a complete retard all that.
No,
man, it's all good. We're all learning here, so it's no big deal.
The camera did die, so.
Oh.
The two GoPros are still going strong, so we're still recording. But the main camera did die, so I got to figure out an alternate way to power that up.
How long ago did it die?
When I got up.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, shoot, you got most of it in.
Yeah, I got most of it in. It's all good. But no, these two cameras are still rolling, so we still got all this whole thing. So appreciate you guys watching. If you made it this far, then you're committed.
Yeah, no doubt.
We'll see you at a few tournaments for sure.
No doubt. Okay, guys, well, let's wrap it up. I appreciate it. Anything else you want to cover or say?
No, go follow the Luck of the Draw Facebook group, Luck of the Draw Tournament Series, and then
TikTok
right here.
Yeah, if you
support these people, that's for sure.
Yeah, Conroe Night Series. Conroe Night Series, go check them out, man.
I don't know if y'all have noticed, but it's going to be like 120 degrees for the rest of this year and next year. So get with Jared if you need your AC fixed anytime soon.
Yeah, and then fishing in the day doesn't get you going. You can fish at night.
Yep.
It's always a good time, man.
Yep. No doubt.
All right, let's get out of here. I'm hungry.
Cool, man.
Yep.